Relic, I feel like you were not drawing your weapon, but you were kind of looking across to see, effectively like preparing, kind of looking over everybody like, is this the moment? Are we going now? And I think you're going to start it off here. So what is Relic doing? Effectively, this is all in the moment that Etor is starting to cast command.
So, yeah, Relic was basically looking for like if anyone was going to like initiate it, so he could see like if he was going to attack. And I think the first thing he would do right now is he would cast levitate on himself. So because the ice is like all over the ground,
Gotcha.
and so
Have you ever read Levitate pretty good? You know that's like not a flying spell, right? You're
yeah, like
literally going to be levitating in place and cannot really move.
yeah, like for right now he just wants to levitate, like he just wants to get off the ice.
Gotcha.
You know what? I'm gonna leave that right there, and he's gonna draw his weapon, and yeah, he's gonna draw his weapon, cast levitate on himself, and then uh, kind of just wait for the wolf to move. Like, so I'm holding the attack action.
Wait, so you're not casting levitate?
Oh right, I forgot that's the action. I'm sorry. No, so yeah, yeah, so yeah, cast levitate, and I can't move with. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, I'll cast levitate and just draw my weapon.
So that's going to take it to Luthor. Luther. Um, what do you all think he is doing? Got a little bit of experience with Larry, how he's playing clerics. What do you all
Mhm.
expect him to do?
I think he will try to prepare himself for an attack. I think he will be holding action to fire his crossbow. I think. I'm not sure.
How about from Justin and Beaks? What do you all think he's doing? Holding an action with the crossbow?
I believe he would.
Uh, yeah, I mean, definitely he seems to like that crossbow. Um,
He's a
So let me put it
sharpshooter.
here. Everybody knows that combat starts the moment somebody starts to cast. You're in the shit as already. That wolf hasn't really been kind enough that you wonder whether combat is going to happen here. You guys have a pretty solid reasoning that this combat is starting. Do you really think he's going to hold an action versus actually using an action?
I
Well,
think he would use an action after the command.
yeah, I think if I cast command, I think he would fire his crossbow at the wolf. I think he will start trying to take out the wolf.
If I remember correctly, he was trying to negotiate with the wolf also too. So if he was the one that was also like trying to speak to the wolf, once command would be cast, I believe that he would just. I honestly believe that he would just like, okay, this is happening, and he would just for the action because he knows this wolf is
He
going.
was already gone at this point, though. You're thinking of Justin. Carvath was the one who was
Uh
negotiating with the wolf.
oh, okay, so that was one. Okay, then I was, yeah, I was mistaken. Okay.
but I agree in that case. Yeah, Luther would just probably fire at it with his crossbow.
So I am not sure if Larry actually knows about this yet. Um, so I'm not going to do it. It is just going to be a straight shot from the crossbow. But I don't know whether he understands yet that he can add a shitload of damage by taking a negative to hit. Um, at some point, I will tell him, but I don't actually want to tell him how to play his character either. So I don't know if he's been waiting. But we will take a crossbow shot here.
What's this sharpshooter?
Yep, he took sharpshooter.
Ah, that's nice.
It's been like with that goblin fight, it was badass because the goblins were taking cover. So there's been awesome points of taking it. But yeah, that's going to be a big old miss there as he shoots at it just a little bit too quick. Carveth, what are you doing here?
Okay, so I think Carvath, very similarly, seeing Edor trying to get the command off and kind of already kind of realizing that maybe he's just um, kind of delaying things. He would kind of like give a small shake of his head and then just kind of hold out his hand and he would launch a firebolt at the wolf.
Roll to hit.
That's a miss.
Don't forget in the future that you can give yourself advantage on shit like that. So if there's nothing else from you at that point, Carveth, you are mid-casting. You otherwise have your turn here. Your action at some point, though, will be the casting of that command.
Oh, you mean Etor?
Yep, my bad. Etor.
Yeah. So I'm casting commands. I think he's have a save wisdom.
So as you tell him to flee,
Doesn't work.
just looks at you and doesn't move.
He's laughing on the inside, I can tell.
It's really hard for me too to remember not to like have them talk outside of their initiative. But yeah, once it's my turn, I'm totally going to be laughing at Etor.
I use my action, so I can cast. Let me see. I'm gonna cast Raffle is my Raff. I'm sorry, my pronunciation is failing me today.
I believe that's an actual spell, and you cannot cast that.
Yeah, there you're right. You're right. I'll look at the bonus action, but it's a cast. So I only taking no action or take it. I don't have any bonus action to take. So I keep my shield up in my weapon in hand.
So I think Frostfang is just going to start a short cackle that turns into a laugh as he starts to move forward. Yeah, I think he's going to go right there, and he is going to continue this laugh until it gets colder and colder. And I need Relic, Carvath, and Etor to make a Constitution saving throw as you start to freeze in solid ice.
All right, I might go ahead and use my Tides of Chaos to give myself advantage on this saving throw.
It's not for an attack.
It's
That might
for an
be.
attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
Where?
And that would also trigger a wild magic.
No, 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 no. I can give it back to you with the Wild Magic Surge.
Oh, okay.
That's why I say, in general, I'm pretty quick to give those back to people because I like to see the wild magic pop. A lot of people are afraid to play wild magic sorts because they don't expect the DM to actually give it back to them. So yeah, everybody is going to save. And you are all going to take half damage here. So everybody is going to take 10 cold damage as this wolf exhales cold breath in your direction and you start to freeze into place.
Damage.
And with that, it is going to go to Relic.
Right. So yeah. All right. So I'm going to levitate up to the like ceiling of this little alcove we're in, and I'm going to push off of the wall as hard as I can and go like straight for the wolf and try to stab down with my spear
Go for it.
right up in
Solid hit. Anytime you roll and it doesn't show damage, please just roll the damage right away.
that side, big old 9. And as a bonus action, I'm gonna use a key. I think I use a key point to use flurry of blows, correct?
Yeah, you have a bonus action unarmed strike, or you can do flurry of blows and take 2 unarmed strikes.
Okay, I'm gonna use a key point for flurry of blows this time. Or 6. Oh,
So
it's
the
3.
first attack he is just going to move out of the way of, and you just strike right past it.
Ah,
And the second strike, it tries to dodge to the opposite side, but you are able to just connect with it and put down another good bit of damage.
and yeah, that ended my turn.
Oh, you know what? Make a Constitution saving throw for me. All right, good. So, what is Luthor doing?
Now that it's closed in on him, he'd probably drop. Does he have a melee weapon? I'm assuming.
I'm sure he's got a mace somewhere. He's got
Yes,
inflict wounds, or
he has a mace.
yep, he's still got his mace.
Oh, if inflict wounds is that a touch spell? He might do that.
It is indeed.
You're gonna need to cast Constitution save, but he could make some damage.
He's not
Yeah.
concentrating on anything.
Constitution. I'm sorry, not.
Oh, because he's close. Yeah, I think the problem is like we're in this cave. There's not a whole lot of room for him to get away from it.
Yeah, so I think go for it. I think he's gonna put his hands and try to inflict the wounds.
Sounds good to everybody?
Not bad.
So he's going to reach out and suck a little bit of life out of the wolf. Carvath, roll a d100.
Let's go.
Almost 50.
What are you going to do this turn, Carvath?
So I was thinking he's gonna try to back away kind of along the cave wall here a bit, kind of avoiding the sort of the edge of where the ground is froze with the wolf froze over the ground, and then he's going to cast
When you go to cast your spell, bubbles come out of your mouth. You cannot speak.
Okay.
Does it have verbal components? I'm pretty sure at this level everything's going to be verbal.
Yeah, the only thing I have that's non-verbal, it doesn't have a verbal component, is minor illusion.
So you go to cast your spell. I'm not going to cost you your action to actually cast it. I don't want to make it too high of a cost. In the future, though, that's how I'm going to play like this one in particular. This is effectively, you don't know you're silenced until you go to burn that action.
Okay, but it does it burn the spell slot as well, or no?
No, that's what I mean. I'm not going to make you pay that right now, but in the future I will. That's going to be how I will play that spell in the future. Like if you roll like that 49 again, it's going to cost you the spell as well as the spell slot.
Got it. Okay.
And that's essentially because you have no reason to know that you cannot speak until you go to do it.
Right. Sorry, in this case, is it taking my action or just for the next time?
Just for the next time. Again, this wolf is a badass opponent for you guys to have to fight. I don't want to make this an automatic TPPK. You guys are going to have to do some work to come out of this alive.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in that case, I'll kind of like a look of shock will register on his face as he opens his mouth, and I'll look him out, and I think he would probably just hastily draw his dagger and. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah. So he'll just kind of instead he'll hastily draw his dagger and throw it at the thing.
Get it? I think you're inside of 20 feet, so I think it's just a normal attack. Solid hit. Pierces through his flesh.
Yeah, I don't think he'd have the presence of mind to load a bolt after the shock, so that would just be his. And that's his turn.
And then it's on Ethor.
Well, I want to attack, and if I hit, I want to use.
Roll the attack first. If you want to smite, you can smite.
Yeah. Okay.
The difference is if you want to do one of your bonus action smites, you do that ahead of time. But you don't have to decide whether you smite until you roll. Solid hit.
Hit.
So, according to the text, I think it's a 3d8 because one spell. Just
It is not
2d8.
undead.
No, is saying that. Let me put.
Should be 2d8 if you burn a level 1 spell slot.
Just to say, for each you see, first level, I'm using a second level. Let me
How do
see.
you have a second level spell slot right now?
Yeah, you're right. I'm a paladin. I'm not a cleric. Right. Only.
Yeah, but you guys are level 2 anyways. Nobody should have second level spell slots right now.
Right. I'm sorry.
So roll 2d8 more damage as you strike it with your morning star, and there's a glow of radiant light. Anything else from you?
Let me see.
Relic uses divine smite.
No, I don't think I have anything I can use. I'm done.
Who is at or below 50%?
I am at 50%.
Yeah.
And Carveth as well?
Yeah, I'm bloodied or frozen essentially.
Is anybody under a quarter percent, like under 25%?
No, not yet.
I have half of my hit points.
Yeah, he's gonna go for relic. He is going to reach out and try to bite into the monk attacking him. Whoops, got it on whisper still. It's going to hit with a 21, and it's going to do 9 piercing damage to you. And I need a strength saving throw if you are still standing.
Yeah, I'm down.
So when relic goes down, Etor, you can take an attack of opportunity as he runs away with relic in his mouth.
Come on.
And you are going to miss. So this is going to be the verge of do a constitution saving throw. Oh wait, no, relic's unconscious now. Do a death saving throw. So what is it going to do as it runs away from with relic?
Wait,
And
did
it's
it show
on
up?
Luther.
I
Nope,
think
he didn't show up.
I think he should cast some kind of healing spell at Helic so Helic can fight the wolf.
Does that sound good to everybody else?
Yeah.
I think a healing
Um,
word.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I completely disagree, but he will heal you for 8 points, Relic. Relic's turn's already gone. It's going to go to the wolf before it goes to Relic again. There's not much point in healing him. But it will go to Carvath. He is at the edge of your view. You are going to be in need of moving closer to it. You guys are inside of a blizzard, and you can see 20 feet.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll seeing the wolf start to run off with relic, I'll start moving out of the cave. There so I can see it.
His relic, that's when his relic gets back up. He's just like, kill it! Kill this thing! Like, he's freaking out. He's in the wolf's mouth. He is not happy.
So I think catching sight of it, I'm going to try to stop it and cast I'm gonna cast magic missile at the wolf.
So make sure it doesn't burn 3, but cast that 3 times. And then roll a d20 for me. It's pretty bloodied at that point. And it's going to go to Etor. What are you doing?
I'm moving my 30 feet to near him. I'm gonna try to guys. I'm not sure if I try to save Helic or attack.
Kill it. Just kill it.
I think maybe the only way to
I
save him
don't think
is to
so. We have
drop this
company.
thing.
Okay, I'm gonna attack. So I'm sorry, Helic.
Solid hit. Do anything else, Etor?
I don't think I can do anything. I don't have any spells left. I don't have a bonus action to do. No, the only thing I can do it is a reaction. That's it.
Going to once again chomp down on Relic.
Go-
And
I like
20
to. I have a reaction to.
it's chomping down. It is biting him. And it's going to do 13 damage to Relic.
I'm down again.
And then it's going to move away from you. Are you taking a reaction as it moves away from you now, Etor?
Take attack opportunity, no? Right?
Yep, go for it. As you strike out at it, it falls dead to the ground. Relic, you are prone on the ground. Oh, wait, nope, you're dead again. Roll another death saving throw. You all see as Relic coughs up blood. It's on Luthor.
We have two options here. Either Luther approaches Relic with I think he still has a spell, or he fires at the other wolf. I don't know. What you guys think?
Well, I don't think he
He
can
has
see the
the-
other wolf yet because of the visibility. So he would.
He
I think
essentially cannot see you guys right now.
Yeah, but I think as a start, he would come after. He would come follow the rest of us out. So if he can get like 30 feet.
Question, Etor, do you have like lay on hands?
It's an action. It's not a bonus action.
Ah, okay.
And I think at this point, with the wolf dead, if he can get Relic up again, I think that's what he'd do.
I think he can use Cure Wounds. I guess. What do you
Cure
guys think?
wounds.
What do you guys think?
Oh, well,
Yeah, but what I don't know what healing spells he has, but yeah.
I'm looking. He has Cure Wounds and Healing Word.
I mean, they're both first level, right? So I would say whichever one is better.
Cure Wounds.
So 8 more hit points on you.
well, it just rises up. God, just stop dying. And yeah, he's
Oh, whoops, that was the different wolf.
Yeah. We are dead. Or not.
It's just going to move up, latch his jaws onto the other wolf, and it's going to drag the body away. Carvath, what are you doing?
No, I think I was probably still too far, so I didn't actually see this happen, right? Because I think they were more than 20 feet from me when the other wolf came. I mean, maybe I would have heard it, but maybe not given the wind and the.
I think we've got you all well into the evening. It is the 13th, so it's a full moon. It's pretty dark, pretty hard to see even the 20 feet in the blizzard. So at best, you've got some signs that the wolf has been moved. But what are you thinking? What's your intention?
Um. Yeah, so I think at this point I'll move towards the others, seeing Luther has gotten Relic back up again, and he'll just kind of be like, "Where'd it go? What happened?" And he's going to take the dodge just because he doesn't know if something else is coming after him, so he's kind of taking a defensive sort of posture at this point.
Gotcha. So that should take us to Etor.
I'm gonna grab Alec by the shoulder and say, "Let's retreat. We can fight two of them. I think I killed it. I don't sure, but I killed one. But I'm pretty sure there's another one. And I'm going to move uh, towards the cavern. That's it. Uh, can I only change a bit? Forgot. I'm gonna use layer hands on Helic. 5 points. 5 hit points.
Thank you very much, sir.
Now I can move.
And then on to Relic. You are prone on the ground. Your spear is dropped. No, your spear is dropped way back in the cavern.
Uh, I think he's gonna just get up and kind of like dust the snow and stuff off of himself. Yeah, I, he turns and looks at Luther. I think that wolf might be back, but for now we should rest. He's gonna like start walking back over towards the cavern to get his weapon.
And then how about for Luthor?
I think he could, if he can see it, he could fire, right?
You want him to move out further?
No, I'm just
He
saying.
cannot see it.
So he get back. He's not going to stay alone in the snow. We have more chance in group, I think.
I have a question. The wolf is dragging another wolf, so does that mean his movement is half?
It is indeed, and it did indeed. These things are made for this shit. They move 50 feet.
Oh, okay, then yeah, okay, never mind.
He moved 75 feet last turn because he took the dash action.
Yep. So yeah, I'm not going out after that.
And my shit doesn't have to follow your rules because they're all designed to die in one encounter.
Exactly.
This is going to be a lesson in when you guys fight shit, sometimes it pays off to put a couple daggers in its throat after you take it down. Because if the dice works out, there's going to be two wolves again. So, you guys have your moment. You are able to get Relic up and back into this little cavern. The blizzard is wailing around you, and for now, the wolves seem to be in retreat.
Wait, so the other wolf is was it down or was it dead?
Down and dead are the same thing as how they look for you guys.
Okay. That's not reassuring, but all right.
It shouldn't be, because right now I'm 2-1.
All right. Yeah.
I'm not sure we should stay here.
But if we go outside now, we are an easy target. What do you guys think we should do?
Think
So I think we left off with you all. I think it was down to this one that you walked to. So you're just off the trail, but you guys otherwise know that if you go to move, you're still, I think, about 4 miles from Dugan's Hole at that point. Yeah, about 5 miles.
I'd like to use the rest of my lay on hands on Carvas. 5 points for you.
Thank you.
I think we should take a short rest. It's just to kind of get ourselves back, and then yeah, we should go back to do this whole.
Yeah, so a short rest. What I think is the first thing you should do. Then we s- we get out. Is you start walking before the wolves get back.
Let me get an intelligence check from everybody. You guys understand? Chased off the wolf right now, but it dragged away its friend. And I think that's enough that you guys can connect the dots that if you short rest, they might be doing the same thing. They're resting and recovering, and they are hunters who thrive in this environment, that you might find yourselves hunted in an environment that you don't thrive in, even if one of them might be weaker at that point.
So I think we move.
I think we have to take that chance.
Yeah, what you're gambling on is how long it takes the creature to recover, basically to where it comes back to consciousness. Um, Anybody with like a sense of medicine? Yeah, you guys have Etor has medicine. I'm gonna say Etor is wise enough to know, as well as Luthor, but obviously I'm not gonna tell him. Etor is wise enough to know when things get knocked unconscious. Could be an hour, could be a couple of hours, but eventually everything wakes up, and after a little bit of time, it's gonna recover, and they're probably gonna be coming after you all.
I think we wanna some time, but we should stay behind. Stay. Let's rest when we get in Douglas room. Let's get moving.
But honestly, the way I think is they aren't the only things out here, and let's get back to do this whole.
Agreed.
So moving out for Dugan's Hole is the decision.
Yes.
I think
So
yeah.
at this point, Etor, you can make a survival with advantage, as Luthor will help you.
Oh, and Carvat's going to use his 2 sorcery points to recover a spell slot.
Gotcha. Around after that battle is when your mage armor was going to burn up. Just to throw that out there for you. I was counting it basically that was happening inside of like the last few moments of your mage armor.
Okay, yeah, so in that case, he will recover his spell slot, and then he'll use it again immediately to recast it on himself.
When you cast these mage armors, do you stand next to people? 'Cause I don't think I don't think Carvath would necessarily know what the potential outcomes of like actually um, going wild would all be.
Yeah, I think he would try to keep a little bit of distance without making it obvious, trying to not making it obvious, but he would sort of like they'd start walking off, and he'd kind of like hang back for a minute, and then kind of try and do it quickly. Almost like doing it quickly will make it less likely something will go wrong, even though he knows that's not actually the case, but it's like a psychological thing.
Gotcha. So roll a d20.
Let's see what happens now. You are
I don't know
now
why I feel like he's that
you,
kid that's like, oh,
you are
you know
now
what I mean?
a
This
bear.
something. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, for that one, he's got to roll a 1. It's when I give him chaos magic back, that's just free. The Tides of Chaos is just an automatic. I've homebrewed in the past for people who want their chaos to be powerful and to go off regularly, that it's like 5% per spell slot, per level of the spell. But that thing's 20% all the time, like when he casts a spell.
Yeah, actually, 5%, right?
Yeah, my bad. I said that wrong. 5%. It's 1 in 20.
So
That's
does
why the
wild magic,
that's why the Tides of Chaos is so much fun to me, because it's automatic.
so is wild magic like a percentile? Like you have to be within a percentile for an effect to happen, or is it like literally every like thing has an effect. So like if you're like,
Every time he casts a spell, he has a percentile that he explodes with other magic.
okay,
Yeah, but it's only for first level and higher, so it's not for cantrips.
makes sense.
So you all can move off into the blizzard, making your ways towards Dugan's Hole and trying to push off away from this area where you have encountered Frostfang and the other of the wolves. And you all can push forward, making some distance off to the east, eventually coming to another point where either choose to alter your directions or let me know that you're going to continue on and you can do another survival check.
I say we just try and press on.
I agree.
Yeah, let's keep going.
So as you push into the blizzard for the next hour here, trying to find your direction, feel pretty confident that you are moving forward and making your way closer and closer to Dugan's Hole, that any time now you should find yourself nice and safe within one of the 10 towns. If you guys are ready to continue on, you are more than welcome to. Otherwise, let me know what you're going to change.
I say keep on keeping on.
Yeah. Alec? It's too low.
I can hear him say yes, but yeah, it's super low.
I'm sorry. Wait, can you hear me better now?
That's better.
Okay, but yeah, let's keep marching forward.
So as you push forward, continuing to the east, there's 4 sets of footprints. Start to realize you were walking in circles. And you've come back to a point where you've been at before. But you're pretty sure you've got it now. And you push forward.
How long have we been walking?
That's 3 hours.
Okay.
So what are y'all doing?
Keep going.
So do
Yeah,
another
agree.
survival.
Head back to town.
As you push on, continuing in what feels like a solid eastward direction, the blizzard starts to break. The snow starts to break holes through your vision, and you're able to see more and more of the landscape ahead of you. You spot the first signs of Dugan's Hole. You spot signs of the moon breaking off of the red waters ahead of you. And at this point, you're pretty sure you're going to make it, unless you all had any reason to change. At this point, you have one more survival check, and it's among the easiest that you will take.
Let's go.
Relic turns to the others. You think we should go back to Brinchander?
You're joking, right?
All right, let's get back to Dugan's Hole. I'm tired.
As you all make your way through the last of the snow, of the big, like, rough snow, and start to head into the actual streets of Dugan's Hole, as you cross the first of the small buildings that make up this tiny little town, you see in your footprints, less than a quarter of a mile away, 2 wolves, blue against the horizon, standing tall, and each of them staring directly at you all. But you are inside of Dugan's Hole. There's no defenses, but the wolves seem to have at least accepted that they've brought you back here.
I resist the urge to hold up my middle finger.
Let's find somewhere we can get inside. Yes, I don't like the looks of those things.
What? What? There is a house nearby.
Effectively, you all are going to probably be coming in, along this like most western area. So more or less, I think you guys are going to immediately come up on a larger house to your south, a smaller house to the north of you.
Hector is going to knock on the door at his north here.
I think while Edward is doing that, Carvath is going to try and keep an eye on the wolves to see if they approach any closer, or if they just kind of continue to keep sort of staring at them, getting the eerie feeling that we've kind of been maybe led here or sort of driven here by them.
Or followed, because probably see where we were going.
Let me have a perception from you, Carvath.
Might just be even paranoid too.
You look up at the same ridge, and you're pretty sure that you see one of the wolves. Maybe they've accepted that you've gotten back into safety, and perhaps they've walked away. So did you say north or south, Etor?
North.
Is there a tavern here?
As you head up to that house, you can knock on the door, and shortly after, probably about 5 or so minutes before you hear somebody actually yell out, "I'm coming, I'm coming. Who's knocking at this hour?" And eventually you see the door have like a little bit of light coming through, and somebody's yelling out from inside, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Hello, sir. We are travelers. We were attacked by wolves, big wolves. We are looking for a place to rest and heal. Do you know where we can find a place like this?
There's not really a place like this here. You could go to Goodmead. It's about 6 miles up to the northeast. But those wolves have been keeping us all in here. So if you try to leave, they'll probably kill you.
Yeah, I think you're right. So there's anywhere we can go to rest. Do you know where the speakers of this town is, so we can talk to him or her?
Um, if you find the ducks, you can follow the boardwalk back to the speaker's house. He's in the center of town. You can look for her there. Everybody who's right in their head's probably sleeping right now.
Okay, thank you. We're going to try to find the speaker's house. Try to speak to her or here. What's is a man or a woman? Who I'm looking for? I don't know. Who's the
What's
speaker?
her name?
As you're talking, you see as the light seems to disappear, and there's no response.
Okay, he went back to bed. So I think uh, we are on the outskirts, so we should go in that direction here.
Yeah, so like you all have seen the actual lake. You can see in general most of the town through breaks in the actual snow. It wouldn't take much for you all to at least get a guess going. That is the center of town. If you walk even remotely near it, you're going to eventually see the boardwalk, and that's going to tell you that that is the speaker.
Yeah, so Hector calls up his friends. He say, "Let's go that way. I think we have a chance to speak to the leader of this town and maybe to find a place to rest there. Here we're gonna find anything."
Carvath nods and he's ready to. Sounds like they're a plan.
So we move.
So eventually, wandering around the town for a little bit, finding your way, you can eventually knock on the door to the speaker's house, and it's a pretty similar situation where it's a few minutes of waiting. You can clearly tell nobody is in a rush to tell you that they're coming, and eventually, again, you kind of see a pretty similar situation where through some of the actual cracks in the construction, you eventually see a little bit of light sneaking through, and eventually you'll see a door kind of fling open as you hear, "Oh, what are you doing? What? Oh, get inside, get inside. Who are you?"
So as he enters, say, "We are just travelers, sir. We were attacked by wolves. We were able to hurt one of them. Was They are following us, so we need a place to rest and heal our wounds. We don't find. If you don't mind, if you stay a little bit here."
"What are you traveling for?"
We heard that the Hole have problems with these wolves, so we are unlucky enough to find them. We fight one of them, but now we are wounded. We came to try to help us. You.
Make a persuasion. Ooh, both of us rolled nat 20s. "Oh, you crazy bastards. You're going through all this trouble to come here and help us? Come inside, come inside. And she kind of like just pauses in like a central portion of the house, and she's looking in kind of like all three directions, kind of ahead of her, to the right, to the left. Come this way. And she'll turn over to the right, and she's just kind of like hobbling. She's got a little bit of a cane that you can tell she is supporting her left side on, but not very much. It seems much more like she's basically using it as a third point to kind of plant herself. Not that she actually has an injury. But she's just kind of moving like short little shuffles, and eventually she makes her way off to that right side, like the northeastern side of this home. And she's just gonna kind of like look at a table that's in front of you, and she'll just tell you, "All right, just push this aside, just move it up against the wall there, and if you stack those chairs there, you all can stay here for the night."
Uh,
Oh, thank you very much.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Tell me
Turn-
these. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rolly.
I was
Damn, another 20.
I turned to the woman. Thank you very much. By the way, how long have you had this wolf issue?
It's been going on for a while. Uh, Gotta admit, don't really know how long. We kind of lose track of things. Um, um, 10 day, maybe a month. It's been a while. Some amount of time. Yep, definitely. Seen them here for a while. We don't really try to travel that much, but they won't let us go, so that's definitely a part of it. Most of 10 Towns doesn't really let us go anywhere either, so it's hard to really notice.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. All right. Well, I thank you for your hospitality.
You're welcome, more than welcome.
Tell me, have the wolves ever come into town itself?
Well, yes, and maybe not. It's hard to tell, hard to tell. People go missing, and maybe the wolves are to blame, but people go missing. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Can I try and get a sense if I think she is hiding something when she says this?
You can do an insight check, but to what extent are you looking for? What are you looking for?
So when she says like people go missing, um, And when she kind of hedged on, she's not sure about if the wolves have come into town. I'm trying to get a sense if she was lying about that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even need to roll for that. Overall, I will constantly remind you all that on a daily basis, somebody disappears and dies in every 10 towns. It is a regular thing that people die, people disappear, and nobody knows why. Many things are wrong in this place, even if they are not the explicit problem at hand. So, yes, people go missing on a regular basis. Pretty much any town speaker you speak to will have a long list of like their most recent missing people. Um, Insofar as like whether they know it's the wolves, it really is just hard for them to tell. Um, so like she'll kind of go on some level where sure it feels like she might be um kind of hiding like little things, but it doesn't seem to have to do with the missing people here.
Okay.
But yeah, that's to me part of this campaign is the horrific nature of these people are isolated in a place where they don't have a choice to go anywhere else. So they stay here despite the fact that there is a constant attrition that is constantly people dying, going mysteriously missing, people who are very evidently going missing, people who almost are committing suicide as they just walk off into the tundra. Like, death is a part of life for these people, and mysterious deaths are only getting more and more a part of it. Where I think of it kind of a lot like if you lived in Israel, where shit hits the fan, hour goes by, and it's back to normal day life because it just happens too often for you to worry about. Like you have to live your life. You can't just stop everything, which is crazy to say on September 11th, but you can't just stop everything to mourn the situation because you have to live.
Also, but I would like to turn to the lady and say, by the way, I didn't get your name. What is your name?
She'll switch the cane to her right hand and she'll kind of reach out, and she's like small compared to all of you, but you see as she kind of reaches out her arm, she's got plenty long enough arm to be like a normal human. And she'll kind of reach out her arm. Egra, it's good to meet you. I'm one of the Dermoots.
I take your hand and shake it. Nice to meet you. I'm Relic, and this is Luther, Carveth, and Ito.
And she just moves her cane back to her left hand and just like continues to kind of shuffle around. Doesn't even really acknowledge everybody else. Doesn't say nice to meet you. She's just kind of like looking over, like counting, like, yep, there's room for 4 beds here.
Oh, wait, does town have a tavern or shop or anything?
Oh, you're a cute one.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Hector starts to look around. He asks her, I see you are used to the situation. These wolves are making their life even harder for you, right? So it was not easy for us to face one of them. The townspeople are dealing with this.
Oh, we've got an excellent strategy planned. You see, people have to fish to eat. So we go out onto the ice, and the fishermen will cut a hole in the ice, and they fish. And if they catch any knucklehead trout, we have the ability to eat.
Oh, so basically, you are surviving and avoiding to leaving the town without the reason.
Definitely not much reason to leave the town, that is true.
I really thank you for letting us stay here. We need to rest and get healed. See, we are going to try to help you with these wolves, but it's not going to be an easy task.
Expect you'll be leaving tomorrow. The path out to Goodmead is off to the northwest there. Once it's uh, lightish out, I can show you the way out of town, and you'll be welcome to leave if the wolves don't kill you.
Question for the DM. The mission for like taking out the wolves that came from Bryn Shander, right?
Yep, effectively, Harana. Yeah, I
That's
think
yeah,
her name
that's
was
the name.
Rana.
Yep.
Basically, that was one of the things that she picked up from the tavern, that there are wolves that have been hassling Dugan's Hole.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we didn't technically get like hired for it. It's just a rumor we had heard. Kind of.
Yep, definitely not a mission giver in this situation. This is not an MMO.
No. I was just saying, like, I remember someone mentioned the wolves in another town, and I was wondering if what's it called. Basically, I was wondering if somehow she learned it from Dugan's Hole about these wolves, but yeah.
You can roll an insight check real quick. Good enough. With how kind and wonderful and opening these people have been, you probably did not hear anything coming from somebody from Dugan's Hole. You probably heard it from somebody who is from a different town.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a pretty solid sense at this point. Just kind of wandering through, who's got the highest intelligence? Carvath would probably pick up that there might be 30 or so houses, give or take 5, in this place. And probably about a third of those had like smoke coming out of their chimneys. This place is tiny, and these people have been assholes. Like in the 2 that you've met, they've basically not been welcoming at all. Even with Edgra, who it's her job to be nice and like talk to people, she's literally ignored the fuck out of you on a regular basis while you guys are asking questions. It's not going to take you guys long to recognize that Dugan's Hole is not a welcoming place. These people have been isolated here together for quite some time, and you've already gathered when Etor asked her, "What are you all doing to protect yourselves and keep the wolves away?" She talked about fishing, and they do nothing. They're literally walking on the ice to go fishing, and that's all they have is going out into danger to try to bring food back.
Yeah, she was very quick to say like, "Oh yeah, and I'll show you the way to Goodmead as soon as it gets light out, so you can leave."
Apparently, it's Dugan's asshole.
Yeah, whoever created this place was not unaware of what they named it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was sitting on my mind the whole time. I tried to not leave it there, but just had to come out.
Well, I
You
think
might have been. Go ahead.
well, I think we can agree that we should rest and wait for the for our wounds to heal before we go out in the snow again.
Yeah, you all are definitely welcome to take a long rest pretty much at any point here, unless you wanted to question her anymore this evening. On the side note, still though, Beaks, you might have been away for the week where I like went to talk about this place and I'm like, there's no good way to talk about Dugan's Hole. That is a terribly named town,
Oh
and I
yeah,
don't think they were unaware of it.
oh yeah. It's fine. I was honestly just having my moment. So
I think we thank her for the information and thank her for showing us the way to.
Yeah, so while you're thanking her, she just walks away.
How
Okay.
about we just take our rest and we leave town? I think we should go. But before we do, should we go back after those wolves?
I'd much prefer not hunting them at night.
No, I mean later, tomorrow, or when we after our rest.
Yeah, they took us by surprise. Maybe we can get lucky, but it was hard enough for one. Imagine facing two at the same time.
Wait, they
True, but
took you by surprise. You guys were having a conversation with them.
But we didn't have a space to maneuver, no strategy, nothing.
well, it was
Oh, come
mostly the
on.
fact.
I gave you guys that wolf. They didn't
Uh,
take you by surprise. You guys had all the chance in the world to avoid that combat.
well, the I think what really took us by surprise was more so of what they could do. I don't really necessarily
Yeah,
think.
they're fucking badasses, and that's why
Yeah,
you guys have a chance to not go after them right now.
yeah.
I don't want to.
We may have bitten off more than we can chew, and given the reception we received here, I'm not so sure I'm in much of a mood to help these people anyway.
Yeah, they are hard people. They don't want
Uh,
help.
come on. It's much more fiercer things out in this plane of existence, like ogres, giants, and things like that. We could take these wolves. We already killed one.
If
Uh,
you recall, you went down twice.
yes, I know, and that's why I want to kill this thing. So we could go hunt this. Maybe. Just
I
maybe.
don't think I want to risk my life for your revenge. I think we should think if we want to try to kill both wolves. I doubt they stay separated.
So what? We go back what? We go to Goodmead or we go back to Burnsander? Like what?
Won't, I think we should avoid to stay too long on the snow, knowing these wolves now are waiting for us somewhere. I think we should go to Good Meat, but I want to see what you guys think.
I've no issue with pressing on to good meat in the morning.
Fine, we'll go to Goodmead. But I still be looking for those wolves. I want to get myself a coat.
Okay, but we are only going to Good Meat. If they try to attack us, we are going to defend ourselves. Nothing. We are not going to hunt them now. We are
All right,
okay.
that's fair.
So I think now you take a longer rest.
At some point, Luther is going to add in that he used all of his spell slots on that. So you guys probably were pretty well tapped fighting a single wolf. Um, and I think it's worth everybody recognizing that I think everybody probably used everything.
Sure.
So
Yeah, if that second wolf had attacked us instead of dragging off its friend, I think we wouldn't be here right now.
Yep.
exactly. We don't have Ginny had any spells left, any heals left. If he used that cold breath, we both we all get killed. So long rest.
So when you all wake up the next morning, there's a couple of people inside of the speaker's house, and you see the same little old lady who's still kind of wrapped up in her shawls. And Edga kind of like looks over you all, and she's clearly talking about you all as they're kind of standing in like the center of the speaker's house. And these four people are all just kind of like staring at you as you start to awake.
Raleigh picks up and goes over to what was Edna? Edgar? Edgar.
Edgra!
Yep. Uh I like to thank you for your hospitality and you allowing us to stay here. By any chance,
She puts out her hand and she starts to like motion, like kind of like the come towards me kind of thing with like four fingers with her palm up.
uh, he comes over to her, like closer.
She's still doing it. Oh, if you'd like to thank me, you can thank me with coin.
Well, considering that,
It's not much of a thank you if there's not coin involved.
oh, trust me, I'm the definition of that. He gives her 4 copper.
One after another, she's just gonna put it into her mouth, give it a little bite to test it, and kind of like look at it, scrutinize them for a little moment, and then she puts them into a little purse.
Trust me, if I can make fake coin, copper would not be what you have in your hand.
Yeah, but if you're gonna make a fake coin, if you make a shitty one that nobody wants, they might not look or notice.
You're a wise woman.
Okay. Like I said, like he said, thank you for letting us stay here. We are.
She's gonna start motioning to you with her palm up, fingers just come hither.
I think he is already paid one
Then
copper
don't
to
talk
each.
about thank yous.
Okay. Don't want. Okay. So we gotta going. Thank you. No. No. Thank you.
Mention you show us the way to good meat or show us the path out of here.
Ah, most certainly, yes, we can.
If you don't mind.
Also, by any chance, is there a way we could buy a few fish from you?
Make a persuasion here. Uh, we don't really have any spare food to sell. Kind of in dire issues here as is. I'm very sorry for your loss, but we really don't have spare anything.
It's okay.
And we'll be on our way.
Lyric here is able to show you the way. If you just follow him, he'll be able to take you there. We have everybody do a perception check. So Carvath probably the one who doesn't pick this up, but between Relic and Etor, the two of you do spot they've got a pretty similar like facial bone structure. Each of them have like a little bit kind of like smaller faces where their eyes are almost like just kind of a little too close to each other, and each of them have kind of like really sharp almost teeth. Um, just seems a little like more pointy than not. But they both kind of share those two qualities as you like see them like face to face. But after a moment, Lyric's going to kind of turn towards the door and just start to like head towards it. And he just stops and pauses, waiting for you all to get behind him before allowing the cold in.
Yeah, so Carvath will he'll offer his thanks as well for letting them stay the night, and he'll move towards
She'll do the same thing where she's just like begging for money.
I just push Carbath out the door. Let's go. Let's go. If I lose any more coin, I'm going to rob him.
Goodbye,
Yeah.
lady.
No, they were nice enough to let us stay. I can spare a few coppers, and Carvath will take out similar. He'll take out 4 coppers and hand them over to her.
It's just the same thing where she scrutinizes them all, gives them a little bit of a bite, and then eventually pockets them.
Okay, so Carpet, then after handing that over, then he'll move towards Lyric.
So once you all get there, he's going to open the door, and you all can basically follow him outside. And then from inside, before everybody's actually outside, you hear just somebody, a couple of them yelling, close the door behind you!
So
And
would you
then
say that
eventually...
we caught him outside?
What was that?
Ignorance. It was ignorance. I said, would you say that we had to catch him outside?
I missed that one.
I said, so would you say that we had to catch him outside?
No, that's what I don't know what you mean. Like, over my
The
head.
the whole catch me outside girl. You know.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, no, that's what I was. It was a moment of ignorance. I'm not going.
No, you're good. So yeah, once you guys all kind of go outside, he's just going to immediately start to walk almost directly to the east, and you'll see as he starts to follow like that lines of houses, um, dead silent the whole time he's with you all. But for about like 10 minutes, you kind of like walk towards the outskirt of town, and you just see eventually gets to the point where he's just like stops about 50 feet from the like just like the last house on kind of that row, and he says, for the first time you hear him, if you follow the path, it'll take you to Goodmead. If everything gets the worst, just make sure to keep the red waters in view. Good meat will be before you get to the east way. Um, if you spot them, it might be best to try to flee. They keep most of us stuck in town, but we don't really get too far away from it. Said you fought them yesterday, so maybe you'll be okay. But yeah, best of luck. And it's going to turn around and start walking away.
Very warm and friendly people, right?
Yeah, let's
So
just get out of here.
as he's moving to walk away, Carvat's going to just try and reach out mentally and just kind of skim the surface thoughts of this guy as he's leaving them at the near the edge of town.
But you almost feel like a hopeful emotion and the surface thought of almost like perplexed. No one's ever come to help us before.
I think I was actually about to just wipe this whole town out. All right, cool. I know Relic doesn't hear that, but I just want to.
So Carvat kind of, after sensing that, he'll turn back towards the others and kind of perhaps they're not all as bad as I initially suspected, but anyway, I still think we should press on.
All right.
I don't I don't think they're used to I think they're used to being on their own. Um, warp them a bit, as it would anyone.
Well,
I
let's
think
get
you're
on the
right.
good meat.
Well,
So you all can head off following the trail. In general, it's just going to be some survival checks, again at advantage while you have Luther helping you.
And Carvat's also going to cast Mage Armor again as they are again, kind of hanging back a little bit as they start out, kind of waiting until they're a little away from town, and then taking on.
Excellent. Thanks for the roll there.
Yeah, I mean, I know it says like you can ask for it, but I'm going to assume every time I cast a first level or higher spell, I'll roll it. And that's most of the fun of why I'm playing Wild Sorcerer. So
I feel like it's an imperative. I feel like you have to roll that one. I don't think I've ever noticed that it was like a request. I always thought it was the Tides of Chaos that I could request.
okay, you might be right. For some reason I thought like the GM can require you or can ask you to roll on the, but I could be wrong.
So yeah, you all are going to head off into the snow, starting to follow this trail. The winds are going to be kind of blasting directly into your faces as you more or less are now traveling very much kind of like in that northeasterly direction on your way towards Goodmead, which I guess there's a little bit of a cant to the direction. So you're still getting like some level of wind that is almost directly in your face. But it's almost like you could kind of turn your faces a little bit. This map is good in some spots and bad in other ones because it's 6 miles to those two. So maybe it's 6 miles for the trail, and like not the direct path. But like I think I went from the measure from like I think it was like Targos to Tourmaline that I measured to scale that map, and that was good. And Targos to Brinchindar was good. But yeah, that should definitely be 6 miles between these two. So this map is definitely not to scale. It is like so much cooler though as the map that like players would have, like being up there where you guys are like, yep, we just need to follow the red water, and we will eventually make it to Goodmead, or we're gonna accidentally walk into East Haven.
One of the two.
My bad. What was that, Beaks?
I said one of the two.
Yeah. The other map I couldn't stand that it was like located how it was. I want north to always be north. And I think this one does a solid job of north is at least like what it shows up as in this one.
Yeah, it looks a little bit more like a lot more accurate.
Um so yeah, you all progress forward, the wind's in your face. Eventually the snow does start to pick up. Eventually you all are in blizzard conditions again, where you can't really see much ahead of you. This is kind of one of those unique positions where I think between the trail and the actual ice of the red water, you have some sense of you can perhaps travel. And these are two of the closest cities that you are going to travel across, but you do still have to make that decision. When you are essentially blinded to the world about you, do you want to try to travel through the storm?
You know, I think with the fact that we're right by the river, we have a much clearer path. So I might be willing to actually just go through the storm. You guys think?
Yeah, I mean, we as long as we can keep the red waters to our east and kind of follow along that. And given this might still be kind of like the wolves' hunting ground, maybe worth pressing on.
I think you should keep going at least for some time. Make sure we are being followed.
Arvath and I guess Relic could too try to periodically kind of just like send out feelers. I think we can use the detect thoughts to like, I don't know if the wolves are intelligent enough that we would catch them, but
I was thinking you had to see that target.
So if it's the same as a detect thoughts spell, it says you can also use this spell to detect the presence of thinking creatures you can't see
Okay,
within
that's good.
30 feet. Um, but it says that you can't detect a creature with an intelligence of 3 or lower, or one that doesn't speak any language. So it's probably not going to help with the wolves.
Well,
You
the
guys
wolves
have
were
spoken to the
speaking to him.
wolves.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Those wolves were actually pretty intelligent wolves.
And I just feel like the reason you can't detect the thoughts of something that's 3 or lower is because it's too stupid. Like that's honestly what I think.
Oh, 100%. That's what it's getting at. Most animals are on that level where they're not intelligent enough to really be thinking. They're it's like survival instincts only. It's like the lizard brain.
All right.
Yeah. So I think let's have Etor do another survival check. Again at advantage, and Carvath and Relic do. I think it's gonna have to be insights.
That 14 and 16 would have been nice.
I don't think you're gonna get anything just kind of wandering. There's a certain level of, 30 feet isn't really that far away to necessarily pick anything up, but it gives you some ability of at least you're trying to feel out for these creatures. Um, and it gives you some sense of at least comfort as you push forward here. Etor is able to follow the sides of the path and keep somewhat on the path, which is probably a little bit more idyllic than following like the red waters itself. But it is one of those things where Etor has at least little sparks between the snow where he's pretty sure you're seeing that actual like break point between like the powder of the snow and the like flat top of the ice, even though there's like fresh snow kind of always being scattered across it. So you're doing a pretty good job kind of keeping those two things in mind, and you all push forward pretty well, and it'll come to another round, like another hour having gone by on your way towards Goodmead.
I roll.
Do another survival, and if Relic and Carvath are doing the same thing, I think this one's actually going to be a Constitution.
Check or save.
Just a check. So continuing to push forward, Ator continues to keep the path, keeps a solid understanding of where the ice is, feeling very confident that you guys are pushing forward on a good path here. You are pretty solid that you were going in a good direction here and making good progress. Um, Relic, you're going to start to find it a little bit draining to try to feel out constantly like this. But on some level, Carvath, you keep the same amount of comfort as you're not picking up any creatures. Nothing seems to be like, essentially, it's effectively like right on top of your party. Nothing feels like it's following you. At least it's not that close. And when you can hardly see 20 feet, you feel pretty confident that if something was following you in these high speed winds, it would have to be within that zone because it would almost definitely have to follow something that it can watch. So you're feeling pretty comfortable that, yeah, you've probably gotten away from the wolves at that point. And then, if you guys are good, do one more.
Insight or Constitution?
It'll be the same thing. Constitutions again.
Not me, right?
Nope, survival from you. I meant everybody. Yeah, just do the whole full round there. Yeah, so I think it'll be the type of thing where you all are going to get into Goodmead, still inside of the blizzard, and you're just going to kind of all of a sudden notice that you're walking between buildings as the path has brought you into Goodmead. Carvath, feeling pretty good. Relic, you're getting pretty good understandings that there's nothing there this time, but it's definitely draining on you to actually continue this. To constantly try to reach out is perhaps dangerous to do, but you guys were able to do it, and it was enough that you could um, relatively comfortably move forward without kind of that like constant fear of the unknown. That it's pretty safe to understand that's probably part of what the wolves bank on. It's probably a lot of the fear that keeps the people in Dugan's Hole is that fear that the wolves are always watching.
Yeah, and once Carveth realizes they've kind of made it inside of Goodmead is when he would turn it off. He
I
kind
look
of
at Carpath and say, "We deserve a pint. You deserve a pint. I deserve a pint. Let's go get a pint."
imagine I might have quite a headache in the morning, but yes, a pint sounds lovely.
I need something to keep him warm. My ale works.
So the direction that you all would be walking into Goodmead is from the southwest, pretty much along the path. Eventually, is coming up like along the actual edge of the Red Waters. You more or less will walk up on a small house. Is among the first places. Knock on the door. Doesn't seem to be anybody there. The next house that you see is just kind of across the way. Knock on the door. Doesn't seem to be anybody there. And kind of just continuing along that, you knock on multiple doors. You find a very large place that is actually the speaker's house, but when you knock on it, there's no answer. Nobody comes to the door, and you go to the fourth house, and you're just kind of following that like edge of the red waters. Nobody there. Go to the next one. Nobody there. The next place that you get to, you've got two massive buildings ahead of you, one of which you can knock on. You see plenty of boot marks in the snow having left this place. Knock on, no answer. And as you're kind of in that position is around when the snow is actually breaking. And you see the mead hall to the northwest of you all. And it is the only place that seems to be active in the immediate view that you all have. And it is among one of the few places where pretty much everybody in this town is at any given point.
Relic goes inside and takes a look around.
So as you head into the actual mead hall, um, which door do you think you would go to? There is a small door on the south, kind of like southeast of it, and then go to that immediate one, first one you see. So as you open up that door, you are going to kind of pop right into a pretty industrial setting. There are a lot of people. A lot of them seem to be in the exact same kind of uniform. And they're more or less just kind of shuffling about until somebody eventually is going to notice you, and they kind of look up. You can't be here. You can't be in here. Uh, who are you?
Uh,
Hello, we are travelers coming to
damn it.
town. Yes, before you start wanting money for people, let me talk. We came in peace.
Travelers can't be here. You've got a lot of different germs on you. If you go outside, the main door is just up there, and that's where you can actually go. And yeah, you can't be in here. This needs to be sterilized. You've got so many germs on you. You are dirty. Just go around to the main door. far northeast, center of town. You can't miss it. Just move on. And he's just pointing up to the north, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll go to this one.
Okay, let's go then.
And you hear as you guys are kind of leaving that area, it's like the same voice from inside. Who didn't lock the door? You guys know this door needs to be locked.
Okay, it seems nice.
So when you go go around to that northern side, there is a large double door in that position. You can open those up. They are not locked or anything. As you step in, there is a massive hall ahead of you. It goes, I think it's about like 150, 200 feet down the hall, and about 100. And inside of the hall itself, there are like booth tables along the like southeast side, like on your left. And then there are like periodic bars kind of set into the right side. There's like three different, essentially, like they're the exact same setup of like taps and like mugs just kind of stacked. And these three bars all have a large table that's probably about like a 30, 40 foot long table with benches like directly in front of it. So there's three massive tables and then probably about like 10 booths on the left side and then these three bars. Inside the actual location here, you see there is one bartender at one of the bars closest to the actual door. There are some people sitting at all of the actual tables, but vastly right now, everything is pretty empty. Looking around real quick, there's probably like 20 people sitting inside of the mead hall right now. And then at the back of this hall, there are big glass doors that you can actually see through all of those people in those uniforms working at the actual stills behind. And they're all just kind of busy like bees going about their day brewing alcohol.
I think. Oh, I'll turn to the others. I think this is one of those working towns where everybody works at the same place. I'm gonna give me a drink, and I go over towards the bar where the bartender is.
Hi there. Welcome. Welcome to Goodmead. Where are you all from?
Yeah, we're from around, been to different places. Uh, what what would you call your finest ale here?
Oh, we do a few different meads that they mostly age with time and get better. So, how much coin do you have?
How much would your finest mead be?
I've got a bottle for 175 platinum.
I do not have that, but it's interesting to know. How about hmm,
Want to do like a silver for a glass? It's pretty fine. It's from a couple of years back before the sun went
well,
was lost.
give me four of those silvers for me and my friends here, and just yeah.
Excellent choice. And she's just gonna kind of like look under the counter a little bit, and eventually she brings up like a little, small little keg, and you see as she sets it down on the table, she's going to take out a couple of mugs. You'll eventually see her bring out a little tap. She taps the keg, and she's going to fill a couple of those mugs, and she'll slide them over to you. 4 silver.
And I hand the silver over to her, and then turn to the others and kind of like wave them over. I got drinks.
Yeah, Ether approaches. Uh, did you pay for me, or I need to pay for my?
Ah, no, everything's covered. Everything's covered. Just have yourself a drink.
Thank you, thank you. You are very kind.
My thanks for luck. Go to pick up a glass.
So as you all like start to sip, she's gonna kind of like describe the actual the brew. This is from 1492. It's an excellent vintage, one of our last where the bees had full sunlight. Everything was done that year. It came out quite well. It was some of our finest honey. In particular, this one has a little bit of a cinnamon spice to it that you'll taste kind of on the finish. And there's a little bit of a fruit that'll give you a little bit of that sweet sparkle that kind of tickles your nose a little bit at the first sip. But it is one of our nicest meads. Um, Still at a good price.
Very good indeed.
Relic is just drinking it slowly and kind of like giving that appearance like he's some kind of connoisseur, but he's obviously just enjoying the drink.
Do a deception check for me. Actually, no. Do a performance. I feel like it's probably the same. What do you have? Do you have performance or deception proficiencies?
I just did performance, but I could do a deception.
Oh yeah, you actually have deception, so it's just a +2 on that. Yeah. So,
Okay.
um, she's not going to notice anything weird about how you're sipping it. So where are you all coming from?
Uh,
Oh, go ahead.
oh, we just walked in from Dugan's Hole and had
You
a
don't
nice
look
little
like
encounter.
inbreeds.
I okay.
We
Sorry,
are
hold on.
not from the place, right, Alec?
No, I'm sorry. Hold on. To the
Okay, that's
DM.
good.
When you to the DM. I'm sorry. When you said to about Edna. Well, I keep saying Edgra. When you
Yeah,
said
Edgar.
Edgra and the other dude had like their eyes look a little bit close together, I
Yeah, they're
really
inbred.
honestly thought inbred, but I didn't want to just assume that. I was at first I was like, are they human? You know,
Yeah,
like
when they say they don't know how long it's been, they don't know like all of those things, it's because they're not welcome in the other 10 towns, and part of it is like it's one of those chicken or the egg, but they are inbred. They are not welcome in other places. They look all the same. There's two families basically, as far as I'm concerned, in that place. If you ever
okay,
asked anybody for their last name, 50-50 chance which last name you're gonna get.
okay. Yeah, I definitely got that yeah.
Yeah, when she said like of the Dermots, I'm like, okay, so it's the Dermots, and that's probably like half the town is
Yeah, that's
Dermots.
why I said it like that. She's like Edgar of the Dermoots, where she's basically like accidentally giving away a little bit too much information. Is the idea that there's two families in town, and everybody shares one or the other, and it's hopefully how they make sure not to have sex with the wrong person.
I need that
Like,
that Iceland Find Your Cousin app.
I think it's a little bit pre that technology, but that's definitely what they're in need of.
oh, Alaskan Tinder. Anyways,
Contender.
oh gosh. Anyway, so Relic, yeah, but Relic says, yeah, we just left from Duke's Hall, and when she mentions the inbreeds, he just kind of gives this weird look, like he caught onto it, but he didn't put it together yet, and he takes a sip, and kind of like that's why.
Actually, we are didn't came from exactly from we passed by Dugan's Hole. We came from north. We are traveling through.
Oh, where have you come from in the north? Where you what'd you go to Dugan's Hole for?
Oh,
Uh, go ahead. You know
no, no,
again.
no, you go, you go. All right, so something.
We heard that they were being threatened by wolves, so we decided to take a look. But we find out that they are way too difficult to face. So decide to make a
You're adventurers?
Uh,
Avengers.
Relic
We
puts his
we are
glass down.
adventurers.
Yes. Yes, we are adventurers, and we are always looking for new adventures. By any chance, do you have an issue or such in this town that needs to be handled?
Oh no, I'm just a bartender. I don't really have problems. She's just gonna like pull out another mug and she fills it for herself and she's just gonna start sipping it as she looks on at you all. What kind of things have you done?
Well,
Bartenders.
well, we are like I said, we killed one wolf, but another is alive. We have faced goblins. We rescued a lot of ore in Brancha there. Uh, we did a we did a lot of things so far.
So like no dragons?
Not yet. I can send you a letter when we find one.
Oh, all right. Yeah. She's a little less interested.
We're actually. I'd like to ask you something. If I recall, you
Wait,
said,
oh,
"Go ahead."
oh, I was gonna say, like when she seems a little less interested, Riley puts his glass down. No, we haven't fought dragons, but we have dis discovered Wyvern's nest, and that was a pretty interesting thing, actually.
How many wyverns were there? Did you get an egg? Do you have it on you?
No, no eggs, but the wyverns were very vicious, protecting their young. And I think he just goes into this really tall story about how we basically killed 5 wyverns and managed to get their horde.
Roll a deception.
Edward going only looks at Relic, give him a half smile.
21.
Nice.
Oh man. You could have definitely gotten some of the 12-15 vintage if you had that horde. What'd you spend it on?
Actually, we gave it to the townspeople. They were really on their luck, so and the wyverns
She's
must
gonna
really.
put her hand on top of yours as she says, "That's so kind of you."
Edward looks at Relic again. He gave him a look like
It's kind of cutting out. I'm sorry.
gave him a look like what you doing. And then keeps drinking his ale.
Yeah, Carvath just kind of smirks over his mug as Relic's regaling this bartender.
As she touches his hand, Relics, he puts his hand on top of hers and says, "I'm sorry, but what was your name again?" And he just kind of does that like whole caress the top of the hand thing.
Ariana.
It is very nice to meet you, Ariana, and thank you so much for serving us. And I place a silver in her hand. Like I do like a sleight of hand to place a silver in her hand.
What do you mean? Like you're trying to surprise her that she's
Yeah,
just
like
all of a sudden going to notice there's a silver in her hand?
no, like I place the silver in her hand, but I try to do it like discreetly, but not kind of like not as a tip, but more like a personal thing to her.
Relic, you dog.
I feel like it's got to be a sleight of hand, basically, to see if she's surprised or whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's some level of she's just going to all of a sudden like um kind of notice it in her hand without really recognizing that your hands have moved at all. She's just gonna kind of like start a little bit as she like "What? I But sworn I had all of these. You did this? Adventurers are better than I thought.
And I just take a sip of my drink. Aye we are. Aye we are.
So things are calm around here. You
Oh wait. Shit. Uh anyway. But yeah, he looks at Ariana and says, so is by chance anywhere we could stay for the night as we are traveling and we'll need shelter.
Well, we've got bunkhouses just to the south of us here. There's always room to stay with all of the different workers. We're pretty well set up for a lot of itinerant workers. Um, it's not a good time for work, but obviously, you guys killing wyverns and whatnot, you probably don't do big stuff. My bad. You probably don't do little stuff like working on meat or anything. But you're more than welcome to stay there. I think it's not gonna hurt your purse at all, but you don't mind just having a bunk.
Oh no, the purse isn't always on mine, but we could definitely help around the town if need be, an extra hand or so. Um, and those bunkhouses sound very timely and appropriate. Sure. Uh, would you mind showing us the way?
I can't leave work here. If you leave this door, it's really just out towards the red waters. If you get to the docks, you've gone too far.
The big house.
Yep, the bunkhouse. Yep. We're a pretty small town. About a third of our people live there at any given time.
And you don't anymore.
I stay with my family.
Ah, okay. Oh, we gotta look at the others. So, what do you guys think about the bunkhouse?
I think that where we should go, find a place to rest.
You guys must be tired if you're resting at noon.
No, I think that when you're going to rest, that is the place. Not yet. We're still going to be around here. Uh, there is some food. You guys sell food here.
Oh, we've got a pretty simple menu. It's nothing special. But if you're hungry, we could probably set up a few different things. Um, it's mostly the choice of like a knucklehead trout stew. You could get some bread or a knucklehead trout like a little fried. There's a few different choices. Most of it's still knucklehead trout. I think somebody took down wolf in town, but I don't think we got any of it. But I can go ask and see what we have.
No, no. I think the fish stew is just fine for me.
Yeah,
Uh,
who took this wolf down?
I think it was one of the guards. Uh, she's just gonna kind of like lean over the bar a little bit as she like looks out. Um, Jaeger over there, and she's just gonna point to one of the tables where there's like three people sitting. Jaeger over there, he's one of the town guards. I feel like he might know. I think I heard somebody took a wolf the other day, so he might actually know who might have done it.
Jaeger sounds like a good hunter.
They have to do a lot to protect our people. We're we have to travel a lot to deliver the meat to the different towns. And a lot of our folk have to go into the woods to try to harvest honey as well.
Yes, I imagine with everything going on, trade is becoming a bit more bit more dangerous.
Yeah, we don't really have the ability to ship anything by water anymore. I heard the East Haven ferry actually has been frozen in. So where you lost the Care Dinavel and Care Koenig, we can't ship mead to them anymore. And that's gonna ruin our shipping through East Haven. It's really making hell on all of this. But you do. It's a god. Ah.
We've been having trouble shipping to East Haven.
Oh, well, East Haven has the ferry that we use to go up through Lake Dinishar. And the East Haven ferry does a lot of our movement up through there. Um, I don't know much about where it docks, but I think it docks with Caer Dineval, and then they transfer it up through Caer Koenig, but it might be the other way around. It might go to Caer Koenig. I've never really visited any of the castles, but I always thought it was a cool idea that there were castles up here. I always thought I would go see them, and then all of a sudden, endless nights, and it's not safe to travel unless you're an adventurer.
So, okay, well, this question was so is it like the river is iced over? Like, is the whole Red Waters, is everything iced over, or is just like part of it is still water while like the more so the edges are iced over?
Um, if you walk out far enough, you can certainly get to some of the fresher water, or like the actual water's top. But I think the last I heard, it's iced out over 100 meters or so. It's a good chunk of the red waters at least this far north. I think Lake Dinishar is a lot less frozen, but it's still slowly freezing over with time. It just never thaws.
I wonder if there's a way to bring this shipment over through land safely. Well, not so much safely, but effectively.
Some of our soldiers escort shipments as well. We just sent out a recent shipment here. It was going off to Brinshindar. They should be coming back anytime now. I think it was about a 10-day ago that they left with a couple of barrels, and we should be having them coming back to town pretty soon.
Carvath he'll raise his now almost empty mug, and he'll well to their safe travels.
Relic
Safe
follow suit.
travels.
Relic follow suits.
There's two.
And then with that, Carvath is going to he'll drain the last of the mead, and he'll turn to the others and you're up for a another round. This one's on me, and perhaps add one in for that fellow Jaeger over there.
Did you like the 1492, or do you want to go? A lot of people say after they have one, they might as well have something that's a little less pricey. You're adventurous. You can pay for it. And she's going to start to fill the mugs.
Yes, Relic's Wyvern Horde will cover it, I suppose.
Zing.
I
So,
look I look at Carvath and just look at Carvath and give him that like sign of like just you asshole.
But no, but Carvath will take out the silvers, and so it'll be so 4 for them, and then another a fifth for Jaeger. And he'll offer if actually maybe a sixth if the bartender wants one as well. Join them in a round.
I appreciate it, but I can kind of get a free liberty to pour myself whatever I want.
Oh, well, that's certainly nice. A nice perk.
Etor drinks his ale slowly. He asks, "Mid, I'm sorry. Uh, how about the town speaker? He's a nice person."
Oh yeah, Kendrick is one of the nicest people you're ever gonna meet.
Ah, if it's there is something to do, probably he knows, right?
Oh, most certainly, yeah. Um, he'll probably be at his house. He's just along the coast, a little south of us here. Oh, it's been a long time. Maybe 3 or 4 houses from the red from the red waters on the south side of town. You really can't miss it. It's a pretty large house. We've got a lot of smaller houses, but he's got a nice one. Kendrick is a wonderful man. He's great for our town.
That's good to know.
Can I insight check her to see if she's like hyping it up?
Oh, 100% go for it.
I don't know shit.
Yeah, she seems genuinely to really like Kendrick.
So I think we should finish our drinks and find town speaker Kendrick. Talk to him, maybe see if he has anything he wants help from adventurers like us.
Before we do, can we talk to what was the guy's name? The guard's name that killed the wolf? Or that knew the
Yeah. Carvath just purchased like the fifth mead to take over to him, anyways.
right. So when it shows up, can I take it over to him?
Yeah, I was thinking we would kind of take that opportunity to ask him a couple of questions. That's kind of why I was buying him the drink.
So yeah, whenever you guys are good, you can definitely head on over there and see what he is up to.
Before I walk away, I just look at Ariana and just say, if you ever need anything, just find us at the bunkhouse.
Great, thanks.
And I walk off.
Yeah, so Carvath will head over to where Jaeger is sitting. Is he sitting with other people or is he sitting?
Yeah, he's got 2 others with him.
Okay, so Carvath will kind of pause and kind of try and maybe wait for a brief lull in the conversation, and then if he can, kind of step forward with the meat in hand and place it on the table in front of Jaeger, and then he's not going to say anything for a moment. He wants to just make sure he's not, uh,
So
unwelcome.
it's only kind of a moment as you come up and start to wait for a moment. Very quickly you see that he's perceptive and senses, you know, somebody's looking to speak to him, kind of thing. Um, and you'll see as he just kind of puts up a hand to the other twos, and you just hear, "Hold on, one moment. Is there something that? Oh, you're a visitor." And he's going to stand up, and he kind of bows his head a little bit. Were you in need of a guard? Is something the matter? Is something wrong?
Oh, no, nothing, like that. In fact, I was coming over to offer you a drink. The bartender over there had mentioned you'd taken down a wolf recently, and I was we're as you noticed, we're new in town, and I just thought we might if you've time, ask you a few questions.
It wasn't myself who took the wolf, but Indeed, it was one of my friends on one of our guard duties. Kurtz was the man who took it, but we were together. I wouldn't claim to have the honor, but I might have had the chance heading up, and so true with his own shot. What sort of questions do you have?
An honest man. And Carvath, as he says that, is kind of give like a little side eye to Relic. um, but he's we on our travels on our way to town, we ran into a couple wolves ourselves. They were rather larger and a bit more vicious, I imagine, than regular wolves. The one that your friend and you encountered, was there anything unusual about it?
He's gonna take a moment to kind of like put a finger up to you, and he's gonna look to the other two. If you would be so kind as to excuse me, I'll see you all a little bit later, perhaps. Um, yes. Goodbye, goodbye. Won't you accompany me? And he's just gonna kind of like look around, and there's really like two kind of like corner booths that are like actually like circular. All of the other booths are a little bit smaller, where you could probably fit four people, definitely can't fit five. And he'll look towards those corners and eventually just kind of spot one, and he'll kind of push on by to it. And just, or not push on by, but he'll kind of like point over to it. Join me over here. And he'll start walking in that direction. As you guys go by, sorry, I had to cough. Ariana's gonna yell off, "Did you all want those stews?"
Yes, please send them over.
So she'll kind of like give you like a big smile, and I guess a thumbs up works. I feel like it's weird to think of a world where a thumbs up doesn't exist, but she'll give you that sign like, "Excellent, I'll bring those over." And eventually, Jaeger's going to take you to the other table, and kind of sitting down. I'm very sorry for the oddness of it, but we've been doing what we can not to discuss the wolves, as we've understood, that have been harrowing Dugan's Hole. I assume you spoke with these wolves?
We did.
Yes, we did.
As far as we understand, and as far as all of our guard duties, our searches, and our own precautions go, we have not had any issues with them. We are hopeful that they don't actually come this far east, that we are perhaps just outside of what they think of as their own territory, and we're not quick to talk about them in front of our civilians. I hope you will understand. We don't want them to fear these wolves unless they have to know about them. And no, the wolf we took was little more than a normal wolf that we encounter on these plains. I have heard that the ones you've met are. People have called them demons. I don't believe that there's any demonic threat to them, but they're more than just what we've encountered. Wolves are normal in our woods. Whatever has been a plague there is something other.
Yes, perfectly understandable. No need to unnecessarily raise the alarm. It's good to know that they seem not to have made their way this way.
Yes, the closest we've gotten light of their tracks, and he's gonna put his fingers together as he kind of shows like his thumb to his pointer finger, um, just kind of like almost like fully stretched out. And he'll be like, "This is about the size that we expect from a large wolf. And we've seen almost double that, about 3 miles to the southeast of us here. We assume that these are the same wolves. And that breed, that clan, that pact of wolves doesn't seem to come any closer." And with what we understand of the other wolves that we hunt, many wolves in this area will travel and keep about 25, a 30 square mile area where they will protect it as their own. From what we can assume, those wolves, they're likely from somewhere west of the caravan route. And Dugan's Hole seems to be just inside of their area, just inside of what they consider their hunting grounds.
It's unfortunate for them. But, that's good. Good to know. Thank you. We'd also heard there have been some troubles with the East Haven ferry. I don't know if you shed any more light on anything like that.
I don't often get sent on any of our shipping missions, so it's been quite some time since I've been to East Haven, but I would not be surprised if indeed the ices have finally encroached. We ourselves only use rowboats at this point. I think many of the lakes are freezing to the docks, and if you cannot carry the boat out by hand, it's just been too long since we've had a thaw. The edges of the water freezes further and further, deeper and deeper, day by day.
And how has travel been along the roads between East Haven and here?
We send our shipments with guards. We are able to keep a pretty solid force guarding everything. Um, there is a certain level of I cannot divulge how many or who goes with what, but all of our ale shipments, they are, of course, what keeps us alive here. We, unlike most of the other 10 towns, do very little fishing. Most of our livelihood is from selling the mead across the towns.
So exactly where do you procure the fish? Trade routes?
Predominantly, yes, we buy as part. Um, where are you all from? Does Ariana know you?
Um, we're travelers. We come from, well, we came from Brinshindar and we made our way south. Uh, and we've been on a bit of a journey for us right now to wherever places that need help have been. Um, in which recently we encountered the wolves. Made our way here after a an unfortunate event. So
You speak like somebody who is trying to hide their past. Many people are criminals or family of criminals here. If you don't want to tell me where you are from, that is fine. But I am required to ask on some level.
no, no criminals. Not anyone here. Just
So,
unfortunate,
plainly speaking, where are you from?
We
as I
came
said.
from south.
I'm from Luskin myself originally.
I'm from Baldur's Gate.
Where am I?
What has brought you all to Icewind Dale? Well, uh, we don't have a rich economy of sale here. Very little sale by coins happens outside of Brinchendar itself with the caravan and anybody who might bring in goods. Predominantly, all of our coin is saved for when we have to purchase things that we cannot get from our own. Most of the 10 towns operate under barter, and we are supported for our mead sales with the things that we need, and it allows us to live a little bit nicer of a life than the others.
Yes, well, this is certainly some fine mead. I don't. We did happen to near Branchander. We hoped to recover a shipment that had gone missing, and I don't know if these mead shipments ever hire on additional help for the journey. But if we were happen to be heading towards East Haven, just for example, and there was a shipment headed that way, um, would there be any call for hiring on additional hands?
You would have to speak to Kendrick. He is quite trusting, but I think it will tend to be the answer that new folk have to prove themselves long before we are trusting with the well-being of our town. I wouldn't hold my breath to be a part of one of the shipments. It is a little bit of a prestigious thing to go beyond simply working for the town and staying in the town. Many of us look forward to the chances to be called to duty for such choice endeavors.
Of course, perfectly understandable. Is there anything that we could do to prove our good intentions, short of assisting with the shipment itself?
I don't know what things Kendrick might require. Um, I expected him to be here by now. He had something to discuss, and I would have expected him to be here. Um, Perhaps actually you will excuse me, and I can go find Kendrick and discuss this for you.
That would be most welcome. Thank you.
So he'll basically excuse himself from the table, um, assuming at some point Ariana brought by the actual soups for you all, so you've had like some sort of uh, breakfast there from the Goodmead Town Hall, or Goodmead Mead Hall. And let's see. You are just relaxing with each other. That is fine. If you go forth to discuss with other people, let me know that. Otherwise, I'm gonna.
I think I'm good with where we are, like, because we just had a conversation with Jaeger about the trade routes and everything, and also mentioned the wolves. Um, I'm sorry, did we continue the conversation after that? Like, because I heard y'all talking before I got back, so
Oh, so yeah, so I think we left it where Jaeger said he was gonna he was expecting to meet Kendrick, and so he was actually gonna go off to find Kendrick. So yeah, I'm good with just kind of like, we talked to Jaeger and we got some information. Now we're kind of just relaxing and kind of drinking our second round and having the stew.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Gotcha. So yeah, probably about like 20 or 30 minutes actually passes before he returns. Um, Even without an insight check, you all would notice that he is in definitely a different disposition. He's clearly acting much more like a soldier, and you can tell he has like a level of nervousness that he was not carrying in what was effectively kind of casual conversation with you all before. And he'll kind of walk past you all, and I think he's not even going to notice you as he walks back into the meat hall, and he seems to be walking towards the front of the hall.
Carbath will glance towards the others as he walks past, and then kind of like give a little nod, suggesting maybe they should, you know, see where he's headed.
Yeah, I think we should follow.
So he's basically going up to those glass doors. He walks all the way up to the front of the hall, and he's going to stand. There's a little bit like higher of a point, like effectively the mead hall itself is set in a little bit lower than the like the back quarter where they do all the brewing. So he almost like steps up a few stairs and is like turns back around and he looks over the mead hall. And that'll be the first time where there is like a little bit of recognition in his brain as he's basically like putting his arms out and he starts to announce to the hall itself. And he just starts with friends, uh, everyone, please silence. Apparently, we have had something terrible. Um, it's just come to my attention that Ken- Kendrick has something has happened to the town speaker. One of our hunters has come in and he found something terrible in the woods. Apparently, one of our shipments was waylaid, and Kendrick had gone out to investigate, and we have only just discovered it. Um, as I understand, Seth Mordian was out bringing in some of his traps, hoping to bring some foxes in, and apparently he overcame a horrific scene. It seems that some number of our guards have been slain. Perhaps a shipment of meat has been taken. And it's hard to figure out what Feth is going for. We are attempting to calm him down to find more information. At present, I think it should be stated that if you do not have to go into the woods, it is not safe to go into the woods. We believe that whoever has killed Kendrick has killed those guards, and they would not hesitate to kill again. Um, and as he kind of finishes speaking there, you're going to see, like throughout kind of that whole time, like the 20 or so people that are inside of the mead hall are moving closer and closer to them. And there's more and more of like a silence until the silence turns into like the slight din of whispers as people start to actually talk amongst themselves like kind of feeling. I feel like there's always that critical moment of people think they've heard enough from the speaker and they start to whisper, and then like it kind of like has that like wave effect, where eventually once he kind of slows down, the whispering kind of stops before people start to like openly ask questions of him, trying to ask. Predominantly a lot of what you'll hear is people like begging to hear who was actually slain. um, and there's some level of he responds that Beth was only able to identify Kendrick. He did not have any names for the other guards. His description did not make sense, but when we have him calmed and we get to more information, we will either hear from him or some of our other guards will have that information and will come here. For now, I think it is safest to ask if you would bring your families here. We'll be gathering for a town hall. I think it might be best that we ask everyone to attend in order to know that everybody is safe.
Relic kind of steps forward and looks at Jaeger. And if you don't mind me asking, what was the description that he gave from what you understood?
Kind of like looks around. Let me have you do a persuasion there. Please don't panic. You don't have any reason to assume this will happen. But Theft said that he found them in a clearing, and it was about 20 or so square feet, entirely covered in blood, limbs, appendages, organs. He saw Kendrick's head, but he could not identify the rest of the bodies. It was a horrific scene. Surely he saw something, and he was driven mad, and we will soon find the true story. It can't be that bad.
Uh, Turn and look at Carveth and this kind of give him this look like we need to investigate this shit. Like we're going to have to find this shit.
So Carvath, as Jaeger is giving this description, his thoughts are flashing back to the scene they found near Ubak's corpse back um, in the Dwarven Valley. Um, but he's definitely in agreement with Relic that they'll want to try and get some more information. Maybe uh, when they can speak with him a little more privately, with Jaeger a little more privately.
Definitely. I just kind of go back over and just grab the mug and take a sip of the pint and kind of like try to think of like what possibly it could be.
So if you all are kind of waiting, I think you'll see Jaeger up there answering questions for a good bit of time. There is a certain amount of time that you start to see people leaving, and eventually, like a kind of constant flow of people coming in. There are occasional guards who are coming in, and eventually, probably about 25 or so minutes afterwards, um, Jaeger will actually step down as they bring up Theth, who kind of describes things. more or less giving the same descriptions. This guy's certainly ranting, and he doesn't seem to be the most sane people that you could have ever have a conversation with. He's definitely like kind of in that like neurotic kind of twitchy. He's definitely speaking quicker than his brain is, or he's speaking slower than his brain is operating, but you can kind of get that sense like this is somebody who is amped up on adrenaline, and is still 100% in fight or flight mode. Um, and eventually he gives the description. Um, there's a certain level of you don't want to trust somebody like this, but he's also giving a pretty like similar story. Like his story is not changing. It's just that this guy seems freaked out. And while he's up there speaking, Jaeger can be called over to you all. So he'll eventually like move over to wherever you all are kind of watching this go down. Um, from what we understand, he won't go back into the forest to show us where he found the scene. But I know enough about where he used to trap, and we should be able to follow his footprints in the fresh snow. Um, we are hoping to send somebody out while there is still light to try to find what we can find.
I know you told the crowd that this tale was likely a bit fanciful, but well, I'm sure you would know him better than us. Have you found him in the past to be fairly level-headed? Do you believe what he's saying?
He is a skilled trapper and woodsman among some of our finest folk. He speaks as if somebody of inordinate strength was tearing these people apart. It doesn't quite make sense, but we also know that there are no shortage of giants who might come down from the spine of the world. Perhaps whatever this thing is one of those creatures. It is hard to tell, and it is hard to trust Fef while he is so startled. But I don't see a reason that we can do anything other than to trust him at this point.
Yes, we may have seen something rather similar to this up north. Um, that shipment we recovered that I had been speaking about earlier. There was a rather similar scene. But if you'll permit us, we would like to, if you're willing to lead us out to this spot that you think that is referring to, we would like to take a look for ourselves.
I think I can manage that. I will have to arrange someone here to accomplish such things as need to be done. But I think I could leave as soon as we're able. Let's see. I feel like the mead hall is one of the few places that would have any semblance of a clock kind of thing. But I don't know what to call it. So for what it's worth, he's just going to kind of give you guys like a general sensation of, don't take a half hour, but I'll need at least like 10 minutes, and we'll meet at the And he's like starts to say at the front of the mead hall, it might be best if we don't come back in. Uh, Meet me outside of the mead hall, and we will travel from there. Yes, I think that will be best.
So Carvath will nod. See you shortly then.
Yeah, Relic's gonna kind of give him a slight bow to him, and yeah, we'll see you then.
So yeah, I think he's going to be about like 25 minutes. You all will eventually see him basically come up to the front of the mead hall. He has three people with him. Two of them seem to be adults, and one is a child. And as he gets a little bit closer, you can recognize that it's essentially like his wife, perhaps either like a brother or his son, and then one other child who's just too bundled up to really see. And he's basically going to bring them to that front door, greet you all, and kind of like make his leave with them as he looks to you all and say, we should be as quick as possible if you are all ready. Let's see what we can find.
Okay,
Yes,
but
just yeah. So Carvath says, "Yes, I'm ready whenever you are."